All right, we about to get started here shortly. So welcome back in, everybody. Glad to have you guys here. If you guys are here, please hit the like button because it truly does help out the channel, as well as turning on bell notifications if you just subscribed. And then that way you guys don't miss a video upload, or in fact, when I do go live. And later when you're watching the replay, if it gives you the option to hype up the live stream, I would truly appreciate that. So anyways, for today's live, we are definitely going to be talking about a mobile phone service provider that I haven't given much attention to in the last couple of months, that being Helium Mobile, and just what are they up to and where are they at currently, in fall of 2025. A lot has changed from the last, I wouldn't say the last video, but like the last campaign that I ran with them when I used to partner with them. So yeah, a little bit different now. I wish I still had the promo to offer you guys. That was a pretty cool promo, I must say. Back in the day when I was able to give you guys, a month free of service to try them out. That was pretty cool. So I don't know, I might reach out to them again and see if they want to collab on a partnership again one more time. And if they choose to, then that would be something that, would be pretty cool, pretty awesome for you guys. I love trying to find you guys some of the best deals out there, or just to, give you guys something to try out, something different, something new. You guys will notice a poll running. Pretty much go ahead and answer that poll. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that. If you guys want to answer the poll and expand a little bit more on it, post it in the chat. I'd love to read it as I'm going along. And then also, I'm going to give some light to the Pixel 9a and talk a little bit more about it. Yeah, I feel like it deserves it. Feels like I deserve to, give it. Well, not I deserve, but it deserves my recognition because the Pixel 9a is such a solid device. So that will be coming up later on in the podcast. We're actually going to start in with Helium Mobile, the main thing that I want to talk about in today's video. So if you guys haven't heard what Helium Mobile is, don't worry, you're not the only one. There's still people out there who's unsure of Helium Mobile. Now, I do have to say that my experience is going to be a little bit different than the experience of today's current Helium Mobile customers, because Helium has shifted things around so much in 2025. So much changes has happened that the type of service that I have with Helium Mobile, while the phone service side is pretty much identical, but the features, benefits, and what they basically stand for has changed a little bit. So if you hear me talking about certain things and you're a current Helium Mobile customer who's just wanting to know a little bit more of updates on Helium Mobile, and you hear me say something and you're like, where do I find this in the app? Or how come I'm not getting this? And you are, just know that, my plan is a much older plan with Helium Mobile. As a matter of fact, I'll just be straight out with you guys. My plan is the $20 unlimited plan. Now, they have fudged how much monthly data I get. But for the most part, when you do active mapping with my plan, I earn crypto, like straight crypto, not Cloudpoints, which today's current plans, when you do active mapping, you are earning cloud points, and you can trade in those cloud points for gift cards and stuff like that. My end, I just transfer my balance to my crypto wallet, and then at some point I'll do a trade. I'll trade it out for either different crypto or for US dollar crypto conversion, and then cash out to US dollars. So that's something that will be a little bit different. TJ, what's up, man? First thing, it's fully unlimited because of how they have structure of times of congestion. Yeah, I totally get it. And thank you for answering the poll. So here's the thing. During my time, like I said, with Helium Mobile, when they first started out, they started out in just a localized area of Miami, Florida. And so a lot of people in Miami were on an unlimited plan, and it was $5 a month for them. That was a hell of a good deal, $5 a month for unlimited phone service, sort of. Okay, so at that time, because they are technically an MVNO, they do rely on T-Mobile's network. Their quote unquote unlimited was 30 gigs of high speed data, and then you were slowed down for the rest of the month until your next bill cycle started. So that's 30 gigs. So if you were to like look at the market today, that's comparable to Mobile X's unlimited 30 plan. That is comparable to Boost Mobile's $25 plan, where they give 30 gigs of high speed data. That's even comparable to Google Fi's Essential plan, which I believe is 30 gigs of high speed data for $35 a month. And with Helium Mobile back then, with the Miami beta testing phase, it was $5 a month for that same service. But eventually they rolled out nationwide, and the pricing did go up. So if you were outside of the Miami area, then it was $20 a month. So taxes and fees are not included with that plan. So what I pay every month is actually $20.86. Because of where I live at, that's the taxes that would be applied on top of my phone plan. So basically, I'm just paying a little under $1 extra. So $20.86 a month. And my current plan, because like I said, they shifted the way that my plan is because they were trying to migrate everybody that was on the older plans onto the newer plans. Some of us who are on the older plans would rather just stay and earn crypto rather than Cloudpoints. And so I took a 2 gig loss. So actually my plan right now with the plan that I'm using is unlimited talk and text, and then it's 28 gigabytes of high speed data before throttle. I never really reached that point of using 28 gigs because I have home Wi-Fi. I actually have 2 different home Wi-Fis. I have the T-Mobile home internet, and then I have the AT&T Wi-Fi. Well, AT&T, same thing, right? Not the fiber version, but the home internet air or whatever they call it. So I have 2 of those. So yeah, I always have connection at home on Wi-Fi. Even though I have like say, my other service provider, Google Fi, which gives me 100 gigs of high-speed data, I never really hit over 40 gigs because I'm always on Wi-Fi. Even with all the data-only SIM cards connected into other IoT devices, I still don't hit over 40 gigs. So, I mean, when you have home Wi-Fi, I guess, that does kind of help out a bit. But they don't offer a fully unlimited plan. Now, that's not to say that they won't offer one in the future. But the biggest thing about Helium Mobile is the fact that they are trying to build out a mesh network connection that is reliant on the people, you and myself. A lot of us have home Wi-Fi, right? And a lot of us, we leave our houses, we go to a 9-to-5 job. So like, you pay whatever you pay depending on who your home internet service provider is. And Helium's like, well, you're paying this much for your home internet services. Why not use that to your advantage to make money? And so they have these things called indoor and outdoor hotspots. They're not technically your traditional type of hotspot, especially the outdoor hotspot is more like a cell site node, and you set it up, and yeah, people that are on Helium Mobile, they can connect to it, and that's the thing. So I'll go over that here in a little bit. I want to get to this comment here. There's no such thing as on throttle fast internet because of other people on the network, especially the ones that have priority on. Yeah, I know how the whole priority thing works. However, I have faith in this company, and I'll explain why a little bit later as to why. So anyways, yeah, you have these options here. I'll go into a little bit of that. But there is the hotspots and whatnot. Just to kind of let's see. They did this whole coverage thing. That's weird. Oh, they have the 5G coverage map. It's kind of funny though. But I'm actually trying to find. Hang on, give me 1 second. Trying to find the whole the Helium hotspot, so that way I can not only just talk about it but show everybody about it. Because these are things that you could actually purchase. for yourself. And let's see if I can get this up. Okay, yeah, here we go. All right, so it's these things right here. This is the indoor hotspot. Yeah, it's fine. Asking about the whole cookies things, but yeah, this is the indoor hotspot. As it's implied, this is what you would purchase. You would connect to your internet router, and you would deploy Signal. I know there's a bit of worry about security. I'll get into all that. But yeah, this is for indoor. So you would put this in, in your home, or, if you run and operate a business, then you would put it, in your business. It tells you right here, technical specifications for it. The Wi-Fi range, approximately 1,500 square feet. Frequency bands, 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz. Ethernet standard at 100, and 1000. Wireless networking standard, Wi-Fi 6, and it is, registered with the FCC. So you would, basically go through the setup process for that. And yeah, where's the switch for this? I want to switch to the outdoor hotspot because that one's the more interesting one. Are they serious? Hold on. I don't want to wipe the whole thing out. I just want to go back to the Helium Mobile Store. Yeah, you guys can see how bad the here we go. Oh, that looks like a different node right here. So this is the indoor hotspot one I noticed. And what's this one? Is this the new outdoor one, or is that a new indoor one? Anyways. So here are the two different ones, right? So you just saw the indoor one. This one right here, this is the outdoor hotspot, apparently, the node and whatnot. Helium Mobile sounds like a carrier that's trying to be for the people as much as it is for the carrier itself. That's a good concept. It's just that the company that sells having trouble having people get those hotspots, no matter if there's indoor versions or outdoor. Yeah, I know that's always a tough thing. That is a tough thing in itself. And I think one of the biggest things, TJ, that people are very reserved about this is because of security, which, I'm going to explain how the security works, how, Helium ensures that no one can tap into your IoTs. I'll get into all that. I know there's a guy, and I'm rooting for him. He posts a lot on X, and he's buying up a lot of these outdoor hotspot nodes, and he's deploying them in like major cities in the country of Mexico. And man, is he really going and working it? There's a lot of things, and here's the interesting thing, and this is on the download. I don't know why Helium doesn't kind of push this, but maybe it's because Helium is still small. They don't want to push a lot of this information, causing an influx of customers, and then they end up looking like trash because they have so many people trafficking on their network. That could be the reason. I don't know. But yeah, anyways. So indoor, outdoor, yes, you can set these up. It's pretty much plug and play. And really what they do is they connect to your home internet router. So of course, you have like an Ethernet line that runs from whether it's inside your home to, say you have this thing mounted on a small little tower post on top of the roof of your house. It runs up the roof and up and plugs in directly into the device. And you need one of those, I forgot what it's called. It's an Ethernet line that runs, you could do it that way, or you could have a separate power line. You could connect a separate power line to the node so it draws power to be able to omit the signal. But you could also use an Ethernet line that doubles up as power as well. So that way you're not running so many cords up the top of the roof of your house. Or maybe you live like in an apartment building that's like, maybe 10, 15, 20 stories. And you're at the top and you don't want to run so much, cords out of your window. there are so much things, like there are so much builders, and that's one of the cool things about the builder community for Helium is that, there's a lot of YouTube channels that show you how to do some pretty impressive builds where it doesn't it mitigates a lot of the things you might be concerned about, like running a cord outside of your window on an apartment building that's like 15 stories high. Like you're worried about bugs getting in through the small little crack of the window. They actually have these cable lines. They start off as like a regular Ethernet cable line, but they kind of convert into a ribbon, which can go in. You can close the window on it. It's flat. It allows you to seal your window without disrupting the current flow in the cord. There's all kinds of cool stuff. Shout out to the Helium builder community. You guys are awesome. I love chatting with them just to learn some stuff. But anyways, okay, so now I know what this is. So you have the mobile hotspot, which covers for phones. And then this little hotspot right here covers IoT. So you actually can connect like your smart fridge, your smart TV. You can connect, your smart speakers, those types of things. That's what it means. Internet of Things, right? So things that require internet access. You can connect to this hotspot. You can earn crypto on it. The same with the mobile hotspots, which is coverage for phones. So they have two different hotspots. And then bring your own existing hardware to Helium. Oh, so this is back now. For a second, they kind of closed it down, but now it's back. So you can actually build your own CBRS, and as long as you have POC, which is proof of coverage, then they will set your device as an active device. And a lot of people are building like these CBRS towers for Helium Mobile and also for mining crypto. It's so crazy. Like I'll be honest with you guys, I don't even have the 100% in and outs of this. All I know about Helium Mobile for the whole time that I've been working with them is that they are trying to build out this really, I don't want to say it's unique because there have been other companies that have tried to do this, like Volkfi has been trying to do something like this, but ultimately failed. But they've been trying to build out this network, which is like reliant on people, right? Because here's the point with these hotspots, they're connected to your home internet. So your home internet is what's deploying the signal for data. Now you're wondering, okay, there might be a security flaw in that. Well, the thing is, setting these up where you connect these to your home internet router or your home internet gateway, it operates. So it operates on a separate channel, a channel that is not used to connect to your other IoTs in your home. So no, for those who are hackers, no one is going to be able to wall crawl through the Wi-Fi and get into your TV or your PC or your laptops or any of that stuff. Think of it like highways. It's not the same highway that is pulling the internet from. It's a completely different highway with barriers, so you can't just cross lanes. You try to cross lanes, you'll crash. That's an analogy. That's the best analogy I can come up with on how the connection works. That is for security purposes, obviously, because Helium does not want to be responsible if people's, computers get broken into and all this other stuff. Could you imagine the massive lawsuit that they would take if that was to happen? They're pretty much well aware of it. They got some good tech people behind it. So yeah, that's how these operate. They have a totally separate channel that they're going to operate and omit the data signal from. And that's what they do. It's just they disperse a signal. Now, how does a Helium Mobile customer connect to that? Well, it's pretty simple. You have to have active Helium Mobile service in order to connect to those signals. Those signals don't just appear up by doing a Wi-Fi scan. Excuse me. They don't appear by doing a Wi-Fi scan. So you can go into, your Wi-Fi and try to see what signals are available for you to connect to, and none of these hotspots are going to be visible for anyone to just see. You have to be a Helium Mobile customer. Because when you install the Helium Mobile app and you sign up for services, as soon as you've gone through the sign up process, and whether you did physical SIM or eSIM, you got your service line set up, there is an authenticator that you have to install on your phone. It's a profile. And what this profile does is, when you're walking by, because yes, you do have to leave your Wi-Fi on, even though you're walking out and about, your Wi-Fi on your phone needs to be on in order to connect to these things. And what happens is that if you come into an area where somebody has their hotspot deployed, then your phone will connect to it. and you'll see it because it will say, from what I was shown pictures of on Reddit. So it will actually say for your Wi-Fi, it will say Helium, and it will have the name of the hotspots. Every hotspot has a unique name, right? Like, I don't even know like the references to it. Some people have some really silly names. They look silly, but obviously. But anyways, and you'll connect to that for data. Now, the reason why that I say, because people are like, oh, that sounds so weird. Like, why would anyone think this is promising? Well, I gotta tell you, the major carriers feel like this is promising so much that at the end of 2024 and in the beginning of 2025, and it's still currently going on today, AT&T customers and Verizon customers are able to connect to these things. If you deploy Hotspot and your hotspot, sorry, I'm getting like offer up notifications, and your hotspot has been chosen to allow non-Helium customers to connect to it, obviously you'll be notified via email, letting you know that like outside Helium customers are going to be able to connect to your hotspot, like your hotspot was chosen for this. And so Verizon and AT&T customers will automatically connect to it, offloading, because that's the entire point. They're offloading data usage from the cell towers onto people's home internets, creating a network based on these things, right? Can you imagine an entire metropolitan city such as my city, Phoenix, if like downtown, let's say there was like on every block, there was one or two people that had these hotspots deployed. Well, if you walk through the entire downtown Phoenix, you would never connect to the T-Mobile network because you would auto connect to these hotspots, basically alleviating, the usage of the data traffic on the network. And then so for those people who are outside of these metropolitan cities, maybe on the outskirts city areas that don't have the hotspots deployed, would find faster internet traffic, whether on Metro by T-Mobile or, T-Mobile postpaid, T-Mobile prepaid, and all its other MVNO users would experience faster speeds because people that's in downtown Phoenix is not really on the network. They're not sapping up, data through the network. They're doing it through the Helium network. And so that alleviates it, right? When you go downtown, T-Mobile customers that, have high priority access, obviously, they're gonna feel, how much faster the data is for them. And those on Helium that go to, the same, Diamondbacks games or the Phoenix Suns games are also going to feel alleviated being able to maybe, post a quick story to Instagram and stuff like that, and not have to worry about congestion, data traffic, because they're not on the T-Mobile network. This is what Helium hopes to attempt, is to get more people. And the incentive behind them is earning crypto. But you got to have a good high traffic of people that go through. So like downtown Phoenix, I would say definitely, because there's at least going to be at least 100 people that have Helium Mobile that walk through those areas daily, maybe commuting to work. Maybe they do stuff like DoorDash or whatever. Those are some of the things that, that happen obviously in like, major downtown city areas. There's a lot of business, a lot of foot traffic, and then there's, at least 100 people that have Helium Mobile that are going to connect to these hotspots. And so these hotspots, they earn crypto as people are connected to them, and how long they stay connected to them and how much data they use obviously sets the tone of how much you're going to earn. And I think off one Helium Mobile line, the max you can earn converted to dollars, I think it's $20 a day, right? So if 100 people connect to your hotspot and for a good length of time and each line earns you $20, do the math of how much you would earn in just one day, and then take that same amount and multiply it by 30. Now you got a month's earning right there. There are, believe it or not, people who actually, this is their passive source of income, and they rely on this, but again, you got to be smart about it. Like, I've been told so many times, well, you're a big backer of Helium Mobile, and, you're closely watching to see how they build out things and how things is working out for them. Why don't you do it? Well, I rent. I don't own my own home. That's for one. And for two, where I live at, there's not really heavy foot traffic. So why would I invest $300 in an outdoor hotspot and like, $200 in an indoor hotspot and there's no foot traffic? It would just be my lonely ass phone connecting to it. So that means I'd be earning just $20 a day. That makes no sense. But yeah, so even if you're like, say you're in my situation, you don't own your own home, you rent, and you don't live in an area that has high foot traffic, so it just doesn't make sense, right? Because if you plan this right, if you're interested in deploying Helium Mobile Hotspot, you don't have to be a Helium phone service customer to have Helium Mobile Hotspots deployed. You can actually just do that if you want to make passive income. But here's the thing, and this is what Pepe Ortiz on X is doing. Okay, so I've been watching him closely to see how his stuff's working, and his stuff is pretty successful. But okay, let's get into it. So what he does to make this a lucrative business for him as passive income besides his day job is he goes from city to city in Mexico, and he goes to mom and pop shops. He goes to people's businesses, and he talks to them. He runs this like a business. He's got little pamphlets with information that he's pulled from the Helium Mobile website for them to see how all this stuff works. Goes to places of businesses that have internet connection, and he talks to them about it, and he tells them like, hey, I want to put this up on your store. And he makes a deal with them. Sometimes his deals range from him like saying, you know what, your internet a month is, $50 US. So I'll pay for your internet if you allow me to deploy an indoor and outdoor hotspot on your business. And, you guys operate as you guys normally would. These things will not mess with your credit card machine. They will not mess with, your internet that connects to your TV or to your computers and stuff. He lays out the foundation of how these hotspots work. Most of them agree to it because their Wi-Fi is going to be taken, the bill's going to be taken over by him. He's going to come in every month. He's going to hand them the money to pay the Wi-Fi bill, and, they don't have to pay for it. So it's like they're getting free Wi-Fi from him, technically. And what he's getting out of it is a Wi-Fi data connection signal that he can deploy for Helium customers to connect to. Now, Helium is popular globally. It is growing on a good scale globally. So there are people in Mexico who signed up for Helium Mobile's phone service. And these areas have high daily foot traffic. So this guy's making money with people connecting to his outdoor and indoor hotspots. Because think about it. Outdoor hotspot, people walking by. Say they want to buy something to drink from this one shop that he deployed at. So they go inside. Well, the handoff from the outdoor to the indoor happens right there as soon as they cross the door. So now they're connected to the indoor one. So the outdoor one just, maybe they were connected to it for the length of time and met the requirement. So for that day, that one phone that was outside connected to it, that outdoor one made $20. And maybe they walk inside the shop and they grab their drink, but then they want to see what kind of snacks they have. So they're walking around in the store and they hit the length of time for the indoor one. So now the indoor one's made $20 off the same person. So I'm talking about it that it could become lucrative, passive income, because this guy is deploying in every major city in Mexico, traveling from town to town, and he records videos showing himself installing his builds, whether he constructs it with a tower or he finds a position on the side of the building and he, drills it in. There are some buildings that he's deployed outdoor hotspots that has three of the outdoor nodes basically triangulated and pointed in different directions, so that way there's coverage on this block, on that block, and the block behind them. And he's paying those people's internet bill $50. He's probably raking in about a good $1,000 to maybe like $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a week. That's on one business. Now I think right now he's done over 150 deployments of these hotspots. That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. And, so yes, there's ways that you can make money off of this, but you got to know your area. You got to, obviously you got to be a good talker to talk these businesses into allowing you to set up these hardware devices and deploy the connection. You got to be a good salesman. So keep that in mind. But anyways, yeah, so this is the incentive of how Helium Mobile is trying to build out this network that's people powered. And having more customers not rely on the T-Mobile network, but rely on the Helium network, rely on our network, basically, that we're building. Yeah, you're in crypto. So with that being said, those are the outdoor indoor hotspots. I spent a good time on those. You have the plans that they currently offer today. Right now, they're running a promotion too as well. So, yeah, no tricks, just treats. Sign up for any Helium mobile plan and get $10 in Cloudpoints for gift cards, plus an automatic entry to our giveaway for an iPhone 17 Pro. Of course, I can't enter that because I already have an account with them, but this is where things also changed up too. So for you guys to understand, like, you guys probably heard them talking about a free plan. Yes, there is a free plan that they have. They do have a free plan. Yes, there's some limitations. First off, I'll be honest with people, when it comes to the free plan or what they call the zero plan, like, why do people feel the need to always complain? Like, it's like if you give an inch, they expect a whole damn mile. Okay, the zero plan is a free plan and it only requires a few things. Okay, one, active mapping always stays on. So with the other plans that I'm going to talk about, you can disable active mapping. As a matter of fact, with my Helium service, I'm on the older plan earning crypto, but I can disable the mapping because yes, the Helium mapping will kill your battery on your phone. It uses a lot of power. So once I hit the limit of what you can map in a day, I turn it off. So that way it's not draining the battery of my phone. And yeah, I'll explain that here in a little while. But the zero plan is free. It just requires you to have active mapping turned on. Always. You can't disable it. And I believe it's... let me go to their plans so I can break it down. Okay, so with the zero plan, you get... where's there? I know there's a limitation to the calls and texts. Oh yeah, there it is. 100 minutes of voice. 300 text messages, and then you get 3 gigabytes of free data. All right, so when you look at a lot of the free plans that's out there, if they have like any type of like government plan, they usually give you about the same amount of the talk and text. Maybe they go like 500 minutes of voice and 500 text, but when it comes to the data, they always give something like 250 megabytes, or 512 something like that, right? I've rarely seen them ever really reach over a gig. Some will give you a gig, especially in today, the way that social media is and everything like that. You can definitely, drain a gig less than 24 hours. And I know people will say the same for the zero, for the zero plans, 3 gigs, right? 3 gigs, you could, if you manage it well and you're mostly on home Wi-Fi, you can make this work. Like, I had my kids on this plan to test it out to see, because my kids, they do a lot of gaming on their phone, like, Fortnite and Roblox and stuff like that. They do a lot of that stuff. And I wanted to see if this could last. And for the first 2 months they were on the zero plan, it was just fine. But then the 3rd month, obviously it wasn't fine, but that's because we did traveling. We had to travel to go see my dad. And so along that travel, they burned out their data before we even got to my dad's house. Obviously, because we didn't have a internet router at the hotel. Because where my dad lives at, he lives out in a rural area in the state of Oklahoma. So I don't expect, like going to Las Vegas where every hotel has Wi-Fi. There were some places that didn't have Wi-Fi. So yeah, my kids pretty much burned out their data pretty quickly. And with this plan, once you, burn out 3 gigs of data, like the whole plan shuts down. Like you don't even have talk or text. So, you're pretty much like screwed for the rest of the month. That was the only negative thing about it. Like, I wish they would upgrade this zero plan to, like, I would say 500 minutes of voice, 500 text. I would say 3 gigs of data stays the same, but once you use the 3 gigs, you're throttled to 2G speeds. That's at least still giving them some active service for the rest of the month. But again, beggars can't be choosers, because this plan is free. You pay nothing. You pay absolutely nothing for this plan. Of course, you get this plan and you don't ever use it at all. I'm pretty sure they'll probably close your account down because of, no activity. So you got to do something. Send a text message, make a 2-minute phone call, whatever the point may be, to show that that it's active. But other than that, I mean, this is a free plan. So for people that are expecting it to give you 10 gigs of data, unlimited talk and text, I mean, that's pretty reaching. Okay, and the reason why that they're able to give you this is because you are actively mapping. you are helping them pretty much figure out areas where, they can incentivize if someone deploys hotspots. This is how the hotspots gets deployed. This is what the mapping is for. So, if you're in a city and you're about to deploy hotspot, you'll know when you look at because they have like different apps and stuff like that where you can see, the most optimal place to basically launch an outdoor hotspot or an indoor hotspot. And you'll know these places because the customers who are actively mapping are showing where a hotspot could be deployed. And so to make sure that somebody at least wants to deploy one, I mean, they're going to incentivize that place. So that place might earn more than other hotspots are earning because they're trying to get someone to deploy a hotspot there. So then that way, customers in that area, the foot traffic, are connecting to the hotspot instead of the T-Mobile network. Because that's who Helium Mobile uses, is T-Mobile for network connectivity. So, but yeah, the active mapping, pays for basically your phone service. Because there is two other ones. So we'll go to the next plan, which is their Air plan. This one's $15 a month. And basically you get 10 gigs of data with unlimited talk and text. So yeah, that's pretty decent. If you're a low data user, if you're primarily on Wi-Fi in most places that you go, you can have a phone bill as low as $15 a month, giving you 10 gigs. And this is a great plan for teens because I think a lot of teenagers need to kind of back away from the internet. So this is a good way to make them basically ration that when they're away from home. Because I'll tell you right now, you give a kid an unlimited data plan, and when you go out on family outings, like you go out to dinner, they're on their phones. There's no limitation. There's no reason for them to not be on their phone. They can be on Instagram looking at reels. They can be chatting with their friends. Trust me, I know. I have kids of my own. So this is like a great way to just, set some boundaries, right? Like your kids, they're going to be, on break on their phones at home. And they're on home Wi-Fi, so it's like, so be it. They're not burning up their data. When they get out of the house to go hiking, to go to the park, to go out to the movies, go to family dinners, go adventuring. I mean, they won't be on their phone so much because they're not trying to burn that 10 gigs of data. They want to use it for when they really need it. And so, yeah, it sets some limitations for them. And that's pretty cool. But it's $15 a month too. So like with this plan right here for my kids, literally it's doing their chores. Doing their chores, their phone bill gets paid. And that's, for 1 week. Like 1 week of chores gets their phone paid. The rest of the weeks, they earn money for whatever they want. They want to buy a card for Roblox and buy some new skins on there, or Fortnite or whatever. They do that. They want to go buy themselves a toy. They want to go buy themselves whatever the case may be, a new hat, a new hoodie. Speaking of hoodie, it's hoodie season in my city. Thank God this year is such a cooler year. I mean, we're going to get hit with the remnants of Hurricane Priscilla is coming our way and going to bring us some rain and some cold air. And yeah, this guy loves his hoodies, so I get to rock them. I don't look retarded being outside when it's 110. I've done it too. People had looked at me like I was weird. 110 degrees outside and I was wearing a hoodie, but I was trying to protect my skin from the sun's rays. That's why I put on hoodies, long sleeves, and plus too, sweating it out was like, yeah, losing weight. Ha! No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, and then the next plan up from that is the Infinity plan. This plan in itself, $30 a month, unlimited data, unlimited voice and text, but it's not really unlimited data. I believe it's 36 gigs. So 36 gigs of high-speed data, and then you're slowed down. So I know some people get mad because they hate that verbiage, that lingo, like, 30 gigs. I'm like, and then on the main pitch, it just says unlimited data. Like yes, I know it's unlimited because they don't shut you off. Like when you use the 36 of high speed, you're using data still, even though it's, 256 kilobits per second speeds. It's still data you can use. It's just not really usable for a lot of things you want to do, like gaming and live streaming in 4K. Of course, you're not doing that on that data connection, but can you open an email? Absolutely. And can you still do VoLTE on a call? Yeah, you can. Basic stuff, web browsing, pages without any graphics or motion graphics, you can do that no problem. But anyways, yeah. So that's where their limitation really kind of sits at for the high speed part of it, is 36 gigabytes of high speed data. And this is $30 a month. So those are the plans that they have now. They do have kids plans, and really the kids plans just emulate the major plans, except that, you know, obviously that they have a little bit of it's like being on a group plan, right? So you can see here, like, there is, you know, the Sprout, the Air, and the Infinity. Obviously, you know, the Air and the Infinity connect to a parent line that is on either one of those plans, right? So if a parent has an Infinity plan and then they open up a line for the child, well, their child would be on the Infinity kids line. Same with the Air. Now, Sprout is different. If a parent has a free line, say, like, you know, somebody decided to get the 0 plan, well, the Sprout pretty much emulates that. Except the thing here is that if you're a parent on, say, the 0 plan or the Air plan or the Infinity plan, you have parental oversight of the kids line. So parent with the free plan, child with the Sprout line, parent can see what they're doing. Same with the Air, same with the Infinity. The thing here is that the prices don't change, which is something that I think, you know, would probably be better if they reduce the amount of the child line by $5, right? So, because the Sprout line, you know, it costs $5. I don't know why, because then that just makes your plan $5, even though the parent line is quote unquote free. It's $5. I don't know why. Like, for instance, the airline is $15. Like, why not make it $10, right? If you got a parent on there that's on the Helium Air plan at already paying $15 a month for 10 gigs of data, and then they incorporate a kids line because, you know, they want their kid to have phone service too for kids of emergencies, then why not have the kids Air be $10 because it is connected to the parent's line, if you think about it. Same with the Infinity, drop it to $25 instead of $30. That's what I would do, you know, but that's just me. But anyways, yeah, you have the ability to have kid lines, and it just adds that little extra layer of protection for the line for parents to have oversight of what their children are doing on their phones, which, you know, people talk about your kid should have privacy. I don't believe in that, because this is why kids go missing and stuff like that, is because you give them the privacy so you have no idea who they're talking to on the internet. Like, no, you need to supervise what they do. And so, side note, how I do it with my kids when my kids don't feel like that I'm overbearing on them, I don't go and snatch their phone and demand to see what they're doing. Okay, if obviously you come in with that negative type of energy, you're going to get a negative response from your kid. They're going to feel like, oh my God, my parent's so invasive. But, you know, I explain to my kids why I want to see what they're doing and what my concerns are. So they understand, you know, generally, hey, my dad cares about me. He doesn't want someone to catfish me and kidnap me. So, of course, you know, here, Dad, yeah, you can see who I'm chatting with. And then they show me themselves, like, who this person is that they're chatting with. This is my friend Athesius from school we used to go to together. Because my daughter, that's her best friend. And she moved to a different school. And I guess it devastated him because my daughter was best friends with him. And so, yeah, you know what it's like going to school, losing your best friend and having to make other friends. You know, it's a little bit awkward. It hasn't been, you know, sunshines and rainbows for my daughter. I mean, she's still a loner at her school. She's already 2 months into her new school. She hasn't made any friends. And so I get concerned. But aside from that, you know, so she'll tell me like that's who it is. You know, she's like, do you want me to call him so you can talk to him? I'm like, no, I don't need to talk to him. Because I hear them talk all the time. When she gets home from school, and I guess he gets home from school, after she does her homework, they get online, they play, I think it's Roblox, and they just chat, you know, on a Instagram call. But yeah, you know, they let me know who they're talking to. They let me see, you know, what they're doing, what apps they have. Yeah, so there's ways where you can make it to where you just got to explain to your kids why you want to see what they're doing online. You know, you do it by force, they're going to be resistive. You explain why, and they'll work with you. Maybe not all kids will do that, but at least most kids will. You just explain why. Anyways, the kids plan on Helium Mobile gives parental oversight. That's a good thing. Like on my Google Fi account, I have, you know, kids connected with what's that thing called, the family link, so I can see, I can see what apps they're downloading. I can set limitations as to what types of apps they're downloading. um my youngest son is excited because in 2 more years he's going to graduate from the YouTube Kids app to the full-blown YouTube app. He's on YouTube Kids. I don't, because I don't want him to go through the YouTube Shorts and seeing all this, stupid trends and stuff like that. So he watches mostly kid programming. So, that's how I regulate, stuff in my home with my kids and their home internet and stuff like that. It's pretty much just that. Anyways, yeah. So that's the kids' plans. Now, like I said, Helium had shifted away from giving crypto. That's what most people on Helium Mobile back in the day, like 2024 and prior, we were earning crypto. We were earning mobile reward tokens. And then they recently in 2025 they switched away from mobile reward tokens, and they switched away from IoT tokens to just Helium network tokens, or HNT. So that's what we're earning now for those that's on the older crypto plans. The ones that are on the new plans, the Infinity or the Air plan, they're earning Cloudpoints. So you're earning points, as you guys can see from this screen. You're earning points, and then you can use these points towards things. Like you can use it towards Airbnb. You can take 10,000 of your points and apply it to Airbnb, and maybe get like a percentage off an Airbnb rental. You could use it towards shopping towards Nike, Amazon, Lego. You can use it at restaurants. You can do it from DoorDash orders, or Instacart, any of those. You could even use it towards your other subscription services, like Apple TV, Netflix, Spotify. You can even share your Cloudpoints and donate it to like donation, those nonprofit organizations. Or you can buy, well, it says it's coming soon, but you'll be able to buy Helium merch. So if you really like Helium Mobile Service and you just want to rock their stuff, you can get like a dad hat, hoodie, t-shirt. Those things are coming down the road. You'll be able to buy merch, right? And so like the Cloudpoints kind of acts like crypto, but it's not. Because they're not giving you any crypto at all. You're just earning points. And on a point system, you cash out for these things. You can even cash out for like a Visa prepaid debit card with a loaded amount if you want. And of course, it's going to be virtual, because I don't think they're going to like mail you a prepaid Visa debit card. You'll just get one of those virtual Visa debit cards preloaded with a certain amount because of the cloud points that you use to buy it. But then you can use that virtual card to do tap to pay anywhere else that, maybe they don't have a connection with Helium Mobile for cloud points. But this is what you earn from active mapping now. So you don't earn crypto, you earn cloud points. So Helium is not even giving you cryptocurrency anymore, which, if you think about it, crypto is money. Right? I mean, if you recognize Bitcoin as money, if you recognize Solana coin as money, then you're going to recognize HNT as money. Now, of course, if you want to know, HNT runs on the Solana blockchain, if you want to know who they run on. So yeah, they're not giving that anymore, which is kind of sad though. I would have, at least me, somebody who is a very beginner, novice person at, sorry for the notifications, but a novice person at cryptocurrency and everything like that. I would rather earn crypto. I would rather take the crypto that I earned from my Helium mobile app and transfer it to, my crypto-based wallet and, build up on it, or maybe even trade it out. Maybe, do an exchange for HNT to Bitcoin, or HNT to Solana coin, or Ethereum, or dark coins, or whatever. I don't do meme coins just because you guys know, if you guys didn't know, yes, there are people who have made some meme coins, like what was it, that girl, that Haktua girl. She ended up, partnering with people, and they created a meme coin, the Haktua coin or something like that. And like, I don't know why people bought into that coin. Like, they bought in millions, and then the coin crashed. And so, yeah, she's in a lot of hot water. There's a lot of, lawsuits going against her or whatever, saying that she scammed the public or whatnot. But I mean, yeah, so I don't buy in meme coins at all whatsoever. Someone can make a Megatron coin. I am not going to buy into it. No. Ones that are more well established. And HNT is an established crypto coin. It is recognized. It is traded for. So yeah, may not be traded for technically where people trade Bitcoin for it because that's going a step backwards. HNT is not as valuable as Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? Like Bitcoin and Ethereum are like the top two, and then you got like all these different ones underneath it. Solana coin, I think, being like in like the 95th place as far as its value. HNT being, man, they're like way down there, but when you're doing active mapping on the crypto side and you're earning HNT for it, right? And if you're doing this for years and years, just imagine how much HNT you're building and collecting, and then you can transfer to your crypto-based wallet, and then how much the value is, because the value does fluctuate, right? Like obviously, I watch the coin market. I see where it goes up, where it goes down. I read a lot of things about like terminology and stuff, so I can understand, what's going on here, because you're dealing with finances, you're dealing with money, and it could be a bit confusing. So I guess that's the reason why like Helium converted over to Cloudpoints makes it so much easier, because they could just reward you points, and then you can trade in the points for any of these things. And it's like, they're holding the keys to the castle. They have the funds in their bank, and you're trading into Cloudpoints, and they're like approving it by sending that allotted amount of what the Cloudpoints would convert to if it was cash value to you, so you could use on any of these services. So you're earning Cloudpoints, and you don't have to worry about having to learn crypto, which I think is silly. I think this should be a choice. Like, here's what I would do if I was running Helium Mobile, if I owned the company, because I know that there's people who would rather deal in crypto, and I know there's who's people that just want it easier and would deal with Cloudpoints. So what I would do is, if you came to Helium Mobile and you signed up, you don't have to pour it into nothing. This would just be the way that I would operate my plans. You would choose any of the 3 plans that I offer. The zero plan, well, not the zero plan. The zero plan would be excluded from it. But the 2 plans, the Air plan and the Infinity plan. And then when you choose the plan that you want between those 2, then you would have the option choice: earn Cloudpoints, earn crypto. And I would allow you the choice to choose if you want to earn crypto or if you want to earn cloud. This allows people, those people who are very familiar with crypto, who understand it, who understand how it works, who understands the day-to-day trade, to earn that. It would so make it so much better for them. And then those people who are just like, well, crypto is a little intimidating. I don't understand the lingo. I don't understand how it works. Can just save themselves time of having to learn the crypto stuff and just go straight into earning Cloudpoints, and then trading the Cloudpoints for services, for percentages off Airbnb rentals and Nike and Amazon and Lego and Netflix and all that stuff, right? Leave it to the people. If Helium says that they are for the people, powered by the people, then give the people the option to choose between points earned or crypto earned. That's what I would do. If someone wants to clip this segment of the live and send it to them on social media so they can hear it, maybe this can, jumpstart a spark in their head to come up with a method that allows people to choose whether you're going to be earning crypto for active mapping or earning cloud points for active mapping. Because the cloud points, you earn it from mapping, but there's also, I think it's like if you send out like an invite, you earn like 750 cloud points just for sending out an invite. There's like little tasks that you got to do besides active mapping. So mapping is not the only way you earn cloud points. There are tasks that Helium Mobile sends out. Like Helium Mobile tries to make this a little fun for its customers. Besides just getting phone service and, all that, they try to make it, a little fun for people. It wouldn't surprise me if Helium Mobile tries to work out a deal. I forgot who owns Pokemon Go now, because it ain't Niantic. Niantic sold Pokemon Go and some of their other gamings to focus on AR technology. I forgot who bought them, but if they partnered with the company that bought Pokemon Go, wouldn't surprise me if they unified in a partnership, not combining both companies together, but like, because on Pokemon Go, you walk and you hatch eggs. And say like if they did it on the Cloudpoint side, right? Because this would not work with crypto. So this would be like one of the benefits of choosing the Cloudpoint side of earnings on Helium Mobile. But say they partner with Pokemon Go for like a month, and then so in Pokemon Go you can hatch eggs. You hatch eggs by putting the eggs in an incubator, and then you have to walk a certain distance. There are different levels of eggs, right? Was it I think it's 2 or 3 kilometer, 5 kilometer, 7 kilometer, 10 kilometer, and 12 kilometer eggs, right? So you have to walk that distance in order for them to hatch. So say, for a month or maybe in 3 months, Helium Mobile with their Cloudpoint systems partners with Pokemon Go, and they do like this thing, right? Like if you hatch a 7K egg, Helium will recognize from your game status that you hatched a 7K egg, so they give you, 700 Cloud points. That would be so cool. Like there's potential in the future for Helium Mobile to make Helium Mobile stand out from its competitors in a more fun way. People today need fun. They need more fun. And I'll tell you why people today need more fun. Okay? And we're not going to get into the subject deeply, but it's the honest truth. People in the US today are miserable. We are miserable beyond anything. There's so much political jargon. There's cities you can't safely walk in anymore because you got like all these groups that are like just attacking. Like people are living their lives, and there's some days where people just get up and they look at the world and they say to themselves, what happened? So there's not a lot of fun anymore. So if there are entities, things out there that can make things a little fun for us humans, life could actually get back to being a little bit better. It's kind of like, how when people say, oh yeah, you're mad because you haven't got some in a long time. Maybe if you got laid, you would be more laid back. Yeah, true. It's not so much of just doing the deed. It's what comes with doing the deed. And I'm not talking about a baby. I'm talking about the feelings you have, right? Anyone that knows that has been intimate with somebody knows the feeling that you have, besides the physical feeling of it, but the emotional feeling of it, how you come out of it afterwards, right? You're like sprightly all of a sudden, like everything just like, because you got down with the person that you love, or the person that you're interested in, right? Or however, if you're okay with just, one night stands and stuff like that, well, both you and the person walked away satisfied. So that's not the only remedy to making people happy. I mean, people are screaming to be happy again. They're screaming to just have a good life. We are all in this thing called the pursuit of happiness. We are all in it. And of course, people pointed out, that the phrase pursuit. So people always question, is it that's all you do your whole life is pursue it and never achieve it? I think happiness, is a mental state. It's how you view things. But there also has to be things that sparks the incentive for you to view things in a more happier state. You have to feel it. So I think if there's a lot more fun things out there, it allows people to reconnect. Like that was one of the things that is one of the reasons why I play Pokemon Go. It is one of the things that allows people to connect. You don't have to know somebody to connect with them. If both you and that person play the game and you guys are interested in the game, you guys are going to talk. You guys are probably going to say, hey, let's do a raid together and walk together to go do a raid. You might, add each other as friends on the game so you can send gifts through the game and get items, without having to buy items. And down the road, you may meet up for big 5-star raid battles or EX raid battles and stuff like that. These are things that's done in the Pokemon Go community and gaming. So while people do kind of criticize other people for playing the game, you got to know the game in order to understand why. It's a very inclusive game, and it's a very sociable game. And when you have grown adults like myself that are using it and stuff like that, it screams out that society today has fallen way off the bandwagon of being sociable. We are really more on the antisocial side. People don't say hi. Most people don't say hi to their neighbors anymore. Like a new neighbor moves in, and I moved in here, and I can tell you guys right now, this is my own personal experience. I moved in here a couple of months ago, right? Like back in May. Nobody here, not one neighbor in my neighborhood introduced themselves to me yet or said hello. I've been the one stepping forward, waving at them like hi. And then they'll wave back, but that's it. It's like, how much wider do I have to open the door for you guys to, say hello? have a conversation with me. You know, we don't have that neighbor policy anymore. It's so totally bad. It sucks really bad, and it's no good. We need to go to a place back to that. So, anyways, touching base with Helium Mobile, the services has been fine for me. It's been pretty decent. There are some things that I see that they can expand on, but those are wishful things. Those aren't things that are necessary for them to operate as an MVNO. As far as what I see, they're doing an okay job right now as the way they're operating things. I'm glad they're not rushing into things, because you don't want to rush into a fully unlimited plan and then have to take that away because the MNO that you've partnered with for your customers to connect to says no, you guys can't have fully unlimited, and then you get screwed. So anyways, that's my thoughts on Helium Mobile. So if you got anyone that has any additional questions, concerns, drop them in the chat right now. I'll answer them right now. Or you could if you're on the replay crew, just put it in the comments. I'll see it later when I go through the Studios app, and I'll respond to your comment and answer your question if I can answer it. If I can't answer it, I'll find the answer. I'll give you the link to where it's at. Let me close out this poll. So basically, everyone on the poll just wants a fully unlimited data plan. That's just how it goes. Understandable. People just want to be able to use what they want to use, no matter what price there is. So, of course, this is reason, and this is one of the mentalities I wanted to know about this, was because this is why that the MNOs are going to win, regardless. Because the ultimate thing here is that everybody wants an unlimited plan, that safety net that tells them that they don't have to worry about data use because they're always going to have data. So the carriers know that, so they set that premise, that foundation that you're going to pay top dollar to be able to have that feeling. This is one of the things that Mobile X is really trying to combat, and that will be for a future podcast, to talk about Mobile X. I definitely am going to be talking about them down the road again. So we'll touch base into that thought. So put it in the parking lot, basically. And if my voice sounds weird, I'm sorry. I am still fighting being under the weather. But yeah, I wanted to get on here and just kind of chat with everybody and talk to them about Helium Mobile, because I haven't talked to anyone about that in a while. And the Pixel 9a, also want to talk about this too as well. And instead of doing another video about the Pixel 9a, I just figured in this live stream I'll talk to you guys about it, because it's a very good phone. And like I said, lately a lot of the attention has been on the Pixel 10. And I can tell you right now, between these two phones, I feel no difference between these two phones when I use them. The way that they operate and everything like that is pretty awesome, and so very similar. Good thing that I got my Pixel 10 at a discounted price. I got this, as an upgrade sale for $499. I got this one for $299 through Google Fi, my carrier. So the prices that I paid for it, I'm not feeling ripped off at all whatsoever. And this is one of the things when people tell me oh yeah, you could have got an iPhone 17 for $256. Yeah, I could have. I definitely could have. Oh my God, I could have got the 256 version and had more storage, because we are heading into that era where 256 needs to be the base model. But guess what, people? I didn't pay $799 for this, and I didn't pay $499 for this. So I don't feel that pinch. And people are going to be like, yeah, the Pixel 10 should have been $499. Well, guess what, genius? That's what I paid for mine. So my experience is going to be so much different than everybody else's, who would complain that for $799, they got 128 gigs. Oh my God, that is so bad. I can't say that. I didn't pay that. I didn't. And yes, my phone is financed through Google Fi, so I'm paying it off little by little. February, when tax time comes around, that's when these phones are going to be completely paid off. That's what I usually do. I finance not for the length of time. I finance until the next tax return, because what I make back in taxes is what I use to pay off my phone, so they're outright owned and I don't have a debt, and it helps out with my credit. So it is what it is on that. But so yeah, for $299, the Pixel 9a, solid. And I think one of the biggest things that I like, two big things that I like that I've experienced with this phone since getting it. Okay, one, battery life. Battery life is insanely good on this. It is, the best Pixel device on battery right now. I mean, the only thing that pretty much topped this in size is the Pixel 10 Pro XL. The Pro XL has what, 5200 milliamp hour battery, and this one has a 5100 milliamp hour battery. So they're very close in size for battery. I don't need a super thin phone. So when people are like, the iPhone Air is so much thinner. Okay, well then take your skinny phone and go about it. Like, it's like models. I like a little meat on my woman. So I'm not trying to have a super skinny model like the iPhone Air. This is fine with me. This is not even bad. But the thing about it is that it has a vapor cooling chamber, and that's so cool because I can actually tell certain tasks and stuff that I do, like say on my Pixel 8a, which is that what I use currently right now is my webcam, or my Pixel 7a, or any other Pixel device, and I notice that it gets warm. It gets a little warm to the touch in the back. It doesn't get like excruciating, like burning. People are always like, is your phone heating up? Like, no, I still can't grill bacon on it, but it does get a little warm to the touch. And the same tasks, and I pull it on my Pixel 9a, and it does not get warm. I'm like, wow. Like, yeah. It's working. It's literally working. Man, oh man. I'm just like, woo, that is insane. That is crazy. Crazy. But that's what they intended it, right? They didn't want it to heat up. I mean, does it get warm when I'm outside and it's 110 degrees? Abso-freaking-lutely. But dude, I'm outside in 110 degree weather. If it's not getting hot, then I want to know what else they have in there. Do they have some sort of cooling gel just flowing around inside of it that keeps it cold? I mean, phones might get to that point in the future. I'm thinking that's where we're going to head with smartphones, right? Because, processors are getting more powerful. Obviously, they're building, more powerful processors that are more efficient too with battery, but apps are becoming more demanding. And so I'm thinking to myself, eventually one day there's going to be like phones that have like this cooling agent, this cooling liquid agent inside of it that keeps it cold. So just imagine if you stick your phone in the freezer for like 10 minutes and then that cooling agent lasts 16 hours ice cold. That would be just so crazy insane. Anyways, yeah, so I mean that's two of the things that I noticed about the Pixel 9a. Battery is crazy good, and then the vapor cooling chamber keeps things nice and cool. And it's doing what it's supposed to do. Now, of course, you got all the other nice touches. Android 16, Material 3 Expressive. You got the new customized icons where you can have them on like the 6-sided cookie. Or why is everything coming in now that I woke the screen? Shut up and leave me alone. You got the 6-sided cookie, 4-sided cookie. You got the one I call that looks like Inky, Blinky, and Clyde from Pac-Man, the little ghost Pac-Man icon. Got the square and the circle, and Google potentially making strides in getting a little bit better. Of course, while these things are good, there are things that I am concerned about with my Pixels going down the road in the future, and it's not really the Pixels that's at fault for this. It is the upcoming direction with Android OS. Like, I'm going to tell you guys right now, you guys can believe me, you guys can think I'm full of whatever, but I'm just going to say it. The future of Android is becoming what people have been demanding 7-8 years ago. It's going to become that I would say like in the next 5 to 10 years. Android is locking down. All right, I did a piece talking about how they're doing this thing with side loading apps. There's there's more and more articles surfacing, right? Because the Android PC thing that I did, I got that one wrong. So I do have to admit that I was wrong about that. It's actually what it's stating. They are intending to build personalized computers running a variation of an Android OS on it. So like, how's that going to work? And it's a very dangerous and a very scary thing. It is hard to convert from a mobile OS to a desktop OS, vice versa, right? Look at Microsoft. They completely screwed the pooch going from a desktop laptop OS down to a mobile OS. I mean, where's Windows Mobile? What happened to Windows phones? Where are they? They're gone. They're gone. So, I'm a bit concerned about this ambitions of Android going into a desktop PC. But I'm also kind of excited too, because that's going to be very interesting to see how this works out, how this plays out. But then what is also the cost going to be? Is this going to be like thousands and thousands of dollars for a PC that's Android? You know, I mean, yes, they are going after Windows. They are going after Microsoft. That's who they're definitely going to be attacking. They're also stating that they're going after, not stating like they stated, but like this move states that they're going to compete against Apple too. And so now, what argument does Apple have at this point? What do they have at this point? Where do they go from at this point? Because there's not, you know, if there's a Android PC, Android tablet, Android smartphone, and you know, Wear OS is an Android-based, you know, watch operating system. Which, by the way, the Pixel Watch 2 and 3 ended up getting the update to Wear OS 6, which brings in a lot of the Material 3 expressives on the user interface for those smartwatches. So if you have one of those watches, you probably should be updating it to get the benefits out of it. But anyways, so that ecosystem that people would always tend to throw or dangle in front of Android users' faces, like, oh yeah, you guys don't even have a real good ecosystem. Well, that's about to change. That's about to change, but there's also a sacrifice to it, because apparently in order to secure Android, you know, because people still don't believe that Android has security, that moniker that if you want security, go Apple, because Apple has everything security, Google doesn't. Well, you may have just, you know, pushed it into a realm where you didn't want Android to go, because Android, in my opinion, is turning out to no longer be open sourced. In the future, they're requiring developers to pretty much, like, you know, do the whole secure thing that, like, you know, the Apple does, right? So developers have to have their names given to, you know, to the Android. They have to, you know, addresses and things like that. They have to register as a developer, basically. And, you know, all the screenings, you know, backgrounds and stuff like that, you know, they would do to secure. So when you have, like, other app stores that, you know, I think it was the lawsuit that was in the EU that won, that basically forced where the Play Store wasn't the lockdown app store for people out there in the UK to use. They had to go, you know, they had to make it to where other app stores are available to be the default app stores for Android devices. And so now Android's doing this, where it's just like, well, now you have to pretty much register with them. And so, yeah, it's closing off. Android is becoming a lot like iOS. Not in the way that it looks, in the way that it operates. It's going to close down. So, you know, we're already seeing sideloading apps being impacted. There's future talks of developers having to register with Android. And there's just all these things, you know, the move towards creating an Android based PC. Yeah, we're becoming like Apple, but then, you know, I feel like that then Pixels is going to lose the one quintessential thing that drew me to them, is that they were nothing like Apple. So then where would I go from here? What would I do from here? Because yes, I may be a Pixel fanboy, but I'm not stupid. If everything that Android does ends up becoming exactly identical to Apple and iOS, with the only differences being the user interface and the name, yeah, I'd step away. I'd back away from using any more of those products, because the reason that I chose Pixel and the reason why that I chose Android for its, you know, its openness, open source, and Pixels because it houses Android pretty good. And then of course, you know, the photography and the AI stuff is pretty dang sick. But yeah, it was the flexibility. It was you are unique. Use the phone the way that you want to. Pretty soon, Android will be able to say that we're using pixels wrong, and that's why the experience is so bad. Like, I can see so much bad coming out of this down the road that it's just, yeah, it's not a good move. But it is, in fact, it is a move that's going to it because, you know, thanks to some people out there. I'm going to blame some of you guys. You gotta walk away from this, just like I had no hand in it. When you take to social media, like, oh, this is why Apple wins and Android sucks because they have security. They have security. Well, now they're gonna have the security, but now you lose the flexibility. So I could already see it. Once this implements in completely rolled out, then we're gonna have those same people, those same dickheads talking about there's no flexibility in Android. Android was so much better 10 years ago. Yeah, well, you pushed them that way. You made them go that way. So now we all got to suffer on the back of you wanting to pretend a Pixel could be an iPhone. Like, that was the thing. That's my thing. A Pixel is only good at being a Pixel. A Galaxy is only good at being a Galaxy. And an iPhone is only good at being an iPhone. Why can't they be themselves? Why does everything have to be exactly the same? That is the problem that has crept into the tech community. That ideology, that mentality. You must be the same. There must not be no difference. Then why do we have different brands, and what the hell are we spending our money on? The idea to monopolize other ideas and other opinions and other creations is so stupid. If people talk about, well, the tech space is not very innovative anymore, it's because you crimped it. You screwed it up. You screwed up the innovation when you decided to have this monopolized idea that other people's ideas must be like a monopoly. It must be the same. You cannot have creation and expect it to flourish on the premise that everybody thinks the same, because then everybody would have thought of that idea. It has no uniqueness. It has no value. Anyways, I think I said enough for today's live stream. We're about an hour and a half in. I got some Amazon packages that I'm waiting for, so we'll do a quick unboxing on those a little bit later on. I do have an Amazon Flex tonight, so I don't think I'm going to vlog that at all. But I got some leftover homemade teriyaki chicken and fried rice that my wife made. Love you so much, baby. And I'm going to go eat breakfast. So I suggest you guys do the same, or wherever you're at, lunch, if you're like on the East Coast or something like that. Definitely go and just enjoy the rest of your day. Glad to have you guys here. Glad you guys were a part of the show. Glad for you guys to have voted on the poll. If you're watching the replay, #replay crew. And yeah, definitely, you guys can catch me in the next one.